Hi, this weekend I watched Tron Ares, the latest installment in the long-running and highly intermittent science fiction franchise from Disney. The original film was released in 1982 and was the adventures of Kevin Flynn, a brilliant computer programmer whose program for two very successful games is stolen by his old boss, Ed Dillinger, and when he attempts to recover it by hacking into the system from inside, the master control program of the computer system transfers him inside the network itself, the game grid where programs fight for their lives in a series of gladiatorial battles. Flynn manages to escape into the real world again, but is changed by his experience. And when we eventually had a sequel 28 years later, in Tron Legacy in 2010, Flynn has gone missing. He's been lauded as a genius, a digital visionary, and he has in fact spent the intervening decades in the grid itself, having been trapped by a program of his own creation that's gone rogue, attempting to create the perfect system. It's imprisoned him and massacred a race of digital intelligences called ISOs that Flynn tried to protect. His son manages to escape to the real world with the last surviving ISO, and then the new film appears another 15 years later. Now Dillinger's grandson, played by Evan Peters, is attempting to monetize the concept of the grid by creating weapons of war out of thin air. And his big project is Ares, a digital soldier that can be simply recreated every time he's killed. However, his secret is that the digital creations can only last in the real world for 29 minutes, and it's the permanence code that he's after. Meanwhile, the management of Encom, the company in the whole series, has also seeking this program, and then a whole load of stuff happens that is already evaporating from my memory. I enjoy the original film. It's a good adventure with a unique visual style and a great electronic soundtrack, a great fantasy adventure for young audiences. Tron Legacy, I think, is a brilliant piece of work, a much more mature and intelligent and complex film, by far the most thoughtful and intelligent film, I think, that's ever gone out under the Walt Disney Pictures banner, and the film that Blade Runner 2047 thinks it was. Tron Ares is dreadful. The script makes almost no sense in any way. It ignores and abandons the law set out in the previous movies and the rules set out in the previous movies. How these programs behave is completely ignored. Concepts about how they interact with the real world is completely ignored. Concepts about the relationship between programs and users is completely ignored. All of it is rewritten to become basically incoherent gibberish and total nonsense. The performances are highly variable. They vary between the competent but struggling Greta Lee in her first major film role that I'm aware of, actually, of course, no, Past Lives, plays the head of Encom, Eve Kim, who's trying to find the permanence code herself and keep it away from Dillinger. Is a fine actor, delivering a fine performance, but the character has no depth of any kind apart from, oh, she's mourning her dead sister who was a tech genius. Well, that's sad, and that's the sum total of what she's given as a character. Dillinger's mother, the daughter of the original villain, is played by Gillian Anderson, who might as well not be in the movie because she contributes nothing. A great actor, completely wasted. And then as Ares himself, we have Jared Leto, who I've seen it joked about that he may be weird looking and all his movies are bombs and he leads a cult, but at least he isn't also a good actor because he's absolutely awful. He is blank, expressionless, completely flat the entire movie. He is a terrible actor, and I cannot understand how it is that he still keeps getting work. I think it has something to do with executives still having fond memories of him in My So-Called Life, the series that made his name in the mid-90s, and are unable to let go of the fact that he is a weirdo with horrible allegations against him, and also a terrible actor. There is no reason for this film to exist because it exists only to serve his ego. He was the driving engine behind it. The resulting film is one that makes no sense, is very hard to get involved with because the characters are so flat and dull and uninteresting, has no intelligence really of any kind. The action scenes are appallingly directed and edited. Joachim Rønning, who takes over direction, is a hack and has no idea what he's doing. The music, which was a great saving grace of the previous two movies, or an additional element that was provoked a lot of praise. We had Wendy Carlos delivering an electronic score in the first film. We had Daft Punk's only film score for Tron Legacy, which is a brilliant work that was hugely overlooked at the time because it was done by two French dance music composers who wear robot masks. Here we have Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross going under their name of Nine Inch Nails, and the music is horrible. It's this grinding industrial electronic noise that has no melody to it, no tune to it. There's no sense of score. It's just noise. And the result is hard to listen to and impossible to like. The attempts at overwriting previous parts of the story are horribly insulting, and even worse is the presence of Jeff Bridges, Flynn himself, who appears in a widely publicized cameo towards the end. Flynn's presence is never properly explained. There is fan service with reappearances of the original grid, the original digital style effects from the 80s. And the whole film seems to be geared, as I saw one review say, to be aimed at 50-year-old men. This is a Disney film that is aimed at nobody. It is aimed at hardcore fans of the original movie and almost nobody else. And it feels like it exists solely to serve the ego of Jared Leto and people who seem to think that he is in some way worth bowing down to. It is an absolute disgrace of a film. Everyone involved should be extremely embarrassed to be involved with it, if not ashamed. It is an absolute disaster. It is the worst blockbuster I've seen this year. It would be the worst film of the year were it not for the absolutely baffling Warfare, a film which manages to argue against its own existence. I can understand why Disney keeps trying to make Tron movies, and I can appreciate and agree with the desire to see an advancement from the story of Tron Legacy. This is not that. This is not a hit. The box office numbers are already in, and the film is a bomb. It's a disaster. It's awful. Stay away.